All right. I live in Northeast Tennessee, and my only grandchild right now, my granddaughter, lives near Akron, Ohio. I don't get to see her much, and that breaks my heart. And then my younger daughter sent a TikTok video to me where another grandmother didn't live near her grandchildren, and she was reading over like FaceTime or something books to the grandkids. And I was like, oh my God, I love that idea. And then it reminded me that back when the cooties crud hit and the world broke down and closed up shop, that a friend of mine was doing the same thing over Zoom. So what I plan on doing is videoing myself reading some books that are, for the most part, age appropriate for my granddaughter as I finish up what I have to send to her from Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. I have other books, and some of them are board books, but it doesn't matter. Anybody can listen. It doesn't matter. They can be 90 years old and listening to ABC's 1, 2, 3s. But I'm going to put it on YouTube here so that her parents who are not together, so they split custody, can just pull it up and let their little girl listen to her bubby read. Today's book is going to be Nubby by Dan Richards. This is the newest. I actually got this in the mail like 3 days ago. Because I live in Tennessee, which is where Dollywood is. I'm only like an hour and a half from Dollywood. I definitely am a state that gets the Imagination Library. I'm pretty sure Ohio is too, but just in case not, I went ahead and got it. Nubby was done. He had been carried, buried, dropped, dragged, torn, worn, chewed on, sat on, and even used as a nose wipe. Repeatedly. A bunny can only take so much. He needed a new beginning. Somewhere where he was appreciated. That afternoon, while the rest of the house slept, Nubby ventured out into the great wide world. Sorry about that. He had not gone far before he had a most unexpected meeting. The resemblance was uncanny. Longish ears, poofy tails, and wrinkly noses. Friends! Surely he'd be appreciated here. But instead of welcoming him, they ignored him. It was as if they didn't even see him. His boy would never treat him like that. His boy, he couldn't quite put a paw on it. Oh well, Nubby told himself. Something better was bound to come along, and soon it did. Nubby landed the starring role in a magic show. He'd be famous, and then everyone would adore him. He just knew it. But fame can be fickle, and Nubby found himself all alone, back on the street. Finding someone to appreciate him was hard work. He longed for a familiar voice, even if sometimes it was whiny and grumpy. But Nubby was far from home, too far to turn back now. If popularity and fame weren't the answers, then what could it be? Of course, he hadn't thought of it before. Why hadn't he thought of it before? He just needed to be rich. And then everyone would see how amazing he really was. Nubby set out across oceans and continents, braving all manner of danger, searching for treasure. And he found it. He would be wealthy beyond his wildest dreams, and everyone would have to appreciate him. It seemed so obvious. Alas, fortunes can be lost as easily as they can be found. Nubby lay staring up at the sky, the pain in his chest cut deep, deeper than torn cloth and strewn stuffing. It went all the way to the fabric of his soul. He missed the old days, laughing and playing with his boy. Remembering brought a sad, fuzzy sort of smile to his face. Back then, his life had been, what had it been? It had been messy and loud and unruly, but it had also been close and unspoken and real. If only he could go back. If only it wasn't too late. Then he made a startling discovery, a life-changing discovery, a discovery worth all the pain and loneliness and heartache he had endured. Look at him laying there in the dirt, all stuffing all strewn everywhere. Nubby pulled himself up, found a ride, and hurried. Nubby was still carried, buried, dropped, dragged, torn, worn, chewed on, sat on, and even used as a nose wipe. We had the mama fixing it up. But now he barely noticed. He was too busy being nuzzled, snuggled, cuddled, clutched, bathed, bundled, squeezed, smooched, and utterly adored. Repeatedly, just like he had always been, only now he cherished every moment of it. And that made all the difference. And look, there's a map of all of his adventures. The end.